The Tarahumara is the Indio that has been in the Americas for many, many years. They're very beautiful people that have great respect for the earth. They also have ceremonies for the wind and the sun and so forth because they appreciate these beautiful things that we have in this earth. They have a fantastic way of looking at life, you know.
They understand things about the world that we really don't understand. And they have beliefs where they say that stories are contained in rocks. You just have to learn how to listen to them. You know, there's stories in rivers and trees and everything else, and you have to learn how to listen to them, but we've forgotten how. The Tarahumara are people who live in Chihuahua, what we know as Chihuahua, Mexico now. They've been there for thousands of years, since the beginning of time. They're indigenous people who call themselves Raramuri, but I think the Spaniards renamed them as the Tarahumara, you know, so that's how people know them today. They reside in a place that most people refer to as La Sierra Tarahumara. Other people call it Copper Canyon. The stories that I've heard is that the Tarahumara heard that the Spanish had arrived and that they were conquering different peoples, and so they went up as a way to escape. And the Tarahumara were among the last people that the Spanish encountered because they had done such a good job of hiding themselves. To this day, they maintain a lot of their traditions and their culture, their language, their style of dress. The Tarahumara are people who are suffering in many ways. They suffer as a result of the recent drought, which is what has drawn our attention. They suffer through discrimination, deforestation, and many of the drug lords want to exploit their land and utilize it to grow marijuana and poppies for their own interests. So the Tarahumara, who've been there forever, are constantly losing control of their land and their environment. Their culture is always under attack. You know. Well, we take the food of the Tarahumara from village to village, person to person. And so when we meet with them at the villages, they'll come and they'll bring, some will bring a sack and and we'll have extra sacks for them. And we'll literally fill up the sack with them and ask them, how much can you carry? And they pretty much let us know how much they can carry. So each individual, mostly men, but sometimes women and children, will load up a sack and they will literally throw it on their back, and then they will just climb back up to the mountains.
We have always been real careful in not trying to take solutions over there. We do not want to make changes. We don't want to lose humility, and we don't want to impose or offend in any way. We want to do things with their permission, and we want to be honest brothers of theirs, you see. It's like the Inlakech, which means, Inlakech is a concept, an Indian concept that means you are my other me. If I hurt you, I hurt myself. So that's the Indio way of looking at it. And life is divine, and you do not hurt your brother.
This is the road to the top of the mesa.
Is there a big truck right up here?
The Tarahumara have a real difficult task before them to survive. You know, on the one hand, you know, I think it's very important for them to maintain their society the way they feel is correct. That's what self-determination means. On the other hand, the world around them is changing so rapidly, and they're having a hard time understanding that world. And I don't know what the answer is, but there has to be a balance between maintaining your traditions and trying to understand the world around you so that you can figure out how to survive in it. And somewhere in there is the answer for them to continue their survival so that they can organize themselves and decide what they need in order to continue as a people. And it's not our job to go in there and tell them how. You know, our job now, as we see it here in Apoyo Tarahumara, is to provide as much help and assistance as we can within our limited means.
I've never felt like we were doing anybody a favor or that we're such good people, you know. We're just being responsible as human beings, you know. That's how I feel about it. And that's what Apoyo Tarahumara has been.
But by the time this is over, you know, I feel like I've gained some spiritual nourishment from them. So they are rubbing off on me, and I think in the long run I'll become a better person for it. You know, and I hope that what I bring them, you know, helps sustain their lives and helps sustain their way of living.
So when you are with these people and you can partake of their spirituality and their greatness, it does something to you in a good way that it brings a sort of consciousness to the surface where I would think perhaps a simpler way of saying it is you become more humane, you know, and you appreciate more life and the people around you.
Dicen que por las noches no más se liga, puro llorar. Dicen que no comida, no más saliva, puro tomar. Juran que el mismo cielo se estremecía al oír su llanto, como sufrió por ella, y hasta en su muerte la fue llamando. Cucurru, cucú. Paloma, cucurru, cucú, no llores, que una paloma negra muy de mañana le va a cantar a su casita sola con sus puertitas de par en par. Juran que esa paloma no es otra cosa más que su alma, que todavía la espera a que regrese la desdicha. Ay, 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 ay.